guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the worst books that I read in 2018. At first I thought I wouldn't be making this video because I thought I didn't have enough books that I really didn't like, but as I was going through all the books I read during the year, I realized there were a few that either disappointed me or were just I really didn't like. So that's what this video is. So the first book that I didn't like was The Reader by Tracy Chee. The Reader follows this girl named, I totally forgot because I don't really care about the book anyway. It follows a girl named something, and she lives in a world where there is no reading, people don't know how to read, and then I think her grandmother is stolen, and the only wish she has to save her is, you know, reading a book. She finds a book. And then there's pirates. That's the main thing I did not like about this book, was the pirates, because I don't really like pirate books. But actually I didn't like it because of the pirates, but it's in no way bad, I guess. It's just pirates is really I really don't like pirate books. It has to be done in a certain way, like A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. That was a book I really enjoyed, but this one I didn't really care about the story enough. And if you really like pirate books, and then you might like it, but this one I didn't really stand out to me. It was kind of boring, and overall it was just kind of a disappointing read. The second book that was one of the worst books I read this year was Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. Asking for It is about a girl named, against I don't know what the girl's name is because I don't really care about the story. That's not true. I'll tell you why I didn't like it. So it follows this girl, and she's sexually assaulted she's raped at a party, and then everyone in her town basically hates her after that. But the story is really slow. It's a really important read about sexual assault, but the only thing I really didn't like about it is that it was very slow. It felt like the same thing over and over again, where the girl was facing a lot of discrimination. Not discrimination, but just a lot of hate from the people around her, and it was just over and over again scenes of her being hated on by her community, and it kind of got repetitive after a while. That's basically what the whole book was, and I really wish there was more closure. And there was a court case, like she did press charges, but nothing happened with that, and it was just a really slow book and really repetitive, and that's why I really didn't like it. A book that deals with sexual assault really well, I think, in my opinion, I don't know, but I really enjoyed Girl Made of Stars. I think that's a way better book that did a better job at showing the story of a girl who was sexually assaulted. The third book that I really did not like was Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. The reason I didn't like Sky in the Deep was because the first chapter of the book was really good. There was a lot of action and really great cliffhanger scene at the end of the first chapter, and it was really amazing. But after that, it just didn't live up to the first chapter. Like, the first chapter was amazing, and then the rest of the book was like downhill from there, which I really didn't like. There was no action. It just felt like the scene over and over again where the main character was with the new, I guess, clan that took her brother. I didn't really like it, and the writing was not that good. I mean, it was a really fast book. It went, I flew through that book in 2 days, which is usually pretty short for me for reading a book. So it was not a very slow read, but I really didn't enjoy in terms of the writing and the pacing. I think that if there was more action throughout the book, it would have been better, but this one was unfortunately just like the first chapter was good, and then nothing kind of happened throughout the rest of the book. The next book on this list of worst books of 2018 is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Court of Frost and Starlight is this novella that kind of bridges the gap between the A Court of Thorns and Roses series and the new spin-off trilogy that Sarah J. Maas is writing, and it's supposed to bridge the gap between these two, but I don't really get the point of it. One, it's set in winter, but it was released in May, I think. I don't know why. I think it would have been better if it was released in December, but you know, it talks about it's about winter solstice, it's about people buying presents, it's about people drinking a lot, it's about Reese being horny, it's about Farah being, I don't know, her weird Farah self. I don't know. It was just not a good book. The writing was almost fan fiction style, where it was oh, what would it be like if the characters were hanging out and shopping together and, you know, hanging out and drinking and eating and stuff. That's basically what this book is. Eating, drinking, shopping multiple times and having snowball fights. That's basically what the book is. So not very good. It felt really weird, especially after like the war and A Court of Wings and Ruin, and then we get this book about shopping. It just felt really weird. It's kind of jarring. It's a novella that's not really necessary. Nothing really important really happened. I think one of my favorite scenes, one of my only favorite scenes, or not scenes, like one of the parts, is that Farah reconnects with her art, and she actually opens an art studio to help other people with art, and it's just, that's like one of the only reasons I really like this book. But other than that, it was kind of disappointing, and it's not necessary. The next worst book was, this book was such a disappointment. I really, really wanted to love it, but I didn't. And that is Fear Reborn by Claire Legrand. This book follows two main characters. The first name is Riel, and Riel's story is that when her assassins attack her best friend, the Crown Prince, she helps him but accidentally also reveals that she's able to perform all 7 types of elemental magic, which only 2 prophesized queens, the Queen of Light and the Queen of Blood, can do. And to prove that she is the Sun Queen, she has to go through these trials and try not to get killed. The second main character is Ileana, which is basically 1,000 years later after Riel's story. And Riel's story is basically a legend or a myth for them in Ileana's world. But Eliana is a bounty hunter who, in the story, her mother vanishes and she's trying to find her. I don't know what it was about this book. I just didn't understand it. I didn't enjoy reading it. It felt slow at times. I didn't understand what was happening. It just felt very, I don't know, I just had a hard time reading it, and I didn't really enjoy my experience, and I was almost about to DNF it, but I pushed through. So that's why it was a really, really big disappointment for me, because I was so hoping to really love this book. I pre-ordered this copy, and I don't pre-order a lot of copies, and this book is actually signed and personalized by the author that I got from Books of Wonder. So I don't pre-order books a lot, but I pre-ordered this one because I was really excited for it and it sounded amazing, but it was really disappointing because it didn't live up to the hype that I was expecting it to live up to. I don't know, it was kind of disappointing. So those are most of the books that I didn't like, but this one is a, let's say, honorable mention, if you will. It's a book that was a disappointment, but was not, it's not worst books of 2018. It's like an honorable mention, and that's Wildcard Memory Lou. I talked about this in my last wrap-up and how I didn't like it because it just felt, Warcross was one of my favorite books of 2017, and I was really hoping that this would live up to the same level that Warcross had for me, but unfortunately it did not. This book was kind of boring, and the only like interesting thing was Zero's backstory, but other than that it was not interesting. I didn't care about the characters. Hideo was not even there that much, and I was really hoping to learn more about Hideo and I don't know, the other characters, but I didn't. The only thing basically I focused on was Zero and Zero's backstory, which is interesting, but other than that it was kind of a disappointment. So yeah, those were all the worst books I read in the year of 2018. I actually didn't know I had that many books that I really didn't like, but I counted them up and I did. So yeah, let me know down below what are some of your most disappointing or your worst books that you read in the year of 2018, as I would love to know. But that is for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!